All right. Welcome, everybody. We are continuing our awesome code camp, and today we're going to be going over CSS, jQuery, expanding our knowledge of jQuery, and event-driven functions, or just what event listeners are, and pretty much just event handlers are. So that is what we're going over now, and kind of describing the flow of how it works. All right. So the main what we're trying to get at here is I asked the question earlier. Uh, when dealing with jQuery and web pages in the DOM and JavaScript, most of the time we are dealing with DOM, which is just a web page. We're trying to um, manipulate the web page in some way. Uh, well, most of the time, not all the time. So what we're trying to do here, or interact with the web page with some way, or get some kind of input or values from it and send them somewhere. So right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand when I hit this button. This is an example here. So this button, when I hit it, there's a pop-up that says, "Hey, you just pushed a button." Right? Look at that. It's I hit it, and hey, a pop-up comes up. It's pretty cool, right? All right. And look at that. When I hit this button here, oh, this section disappears. And when I hit this here, the section comes back. So I know this is one of the weirdest things, and it's kind of a fallacy of programming, in that, well, not really a fallacy, but it's something that programmers, especially when we're starting, we do a lot. Uh, but as you get more practice, I still do it. But as you get more practice, we get better at it. Uh, the important thing is, as a programmer, is to understand the flow of things. I mean, I could just give you the answer right now. Just say, hey, this is connected to this is connected to this, and then this happens. That's it. And then continue on. But really, that is not going to help you in the long run. I mean, most people will forget. And it isn't that helpful. I think it's better for us to go through the flow, even if it takes a little bit longer. But this is one of those lessons that it's important to understand, and that once you understand it and once you accept it, it will stay with you forever, at least longer than if I would have just say, hey, this happens here, 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 and then that's it. Are you guys with that? Do you agree? I guess sometime. A little something. Okay. Yes. So the question that I asked was, when I hit this button and then the pop-up comes up, how does that happen? So as as developers, as architects, it is our job to break down complex processes, right? Or events or tasks into smaller parts, more smaller manageable parts, and do them step by step, so that we can understand them first of all, and then we can reproduce them or produce them. Um, so, for example, if you were asking, like a non-developer, hey, how does, when I hit this, could you describe to me what happens? Okay. I mean, most people, probably 99%, 100% of the people will say, okay, yeah, you hit this button, and then a pop-up comes up, and then it comes up, that's it, and then you hit OK to dismiss it. And that is correct. They're not wrong. But as architects, it is our responsibility to know step by step the full flow of what happens when that button is hit. So I know I'm taking a little bit of time here, but it's important. Just bear with me. So went over it earlier before, so I'm not gonna go too much in that. So what happens is I press this button here. Okay, this button is this button over here. Okay, so we are now going to introduce something called an event handler. Oh, yeah. Okay, say it with me. Event handlers. That's right. And event handlers are pretty cool. Event handlers are very, very, very nice. Because what do you think they do? Go ahead. What do you think an event handler does?
Handles
It's a
events.
mystery. Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It handles events. Yeah. And pretty much a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing is, especially on a web page, all a web page is just some kind of template, some kind of document that expects the user. I mean, it displays some information, right? But it's also expecting the user to do something. That's either click on the link, enter some information on some kind of form, choose some kind of class or race. Click over here, hover over here, maybe travel to some pages. So there's always, the user always has options to do things, to do some kind of event, to do some kind of action. And those things are called events.
On a
Okay.
side note,
Yes.
we're doing characters in like a D&D type game, but
Yes.
this is basically handling like customers or accounts or something,
It
just
is
with
exactly.
a different name, a different look.
Yeah, exactly. It is indeed the same thing. And if you could do this with any kind of, I mean, right now, exactly like you said, D&D characters, this is anything. I mean, like we have the exact same thing at my firm, except it's lawyers. Okay, what's the lawyer's name? What is his ID number for the bar or whatever that thing is called? And, address, salary, all that stuff. And
Class level.
yes, yeah. And it applies to them too. It's like associate, um, I don't know, partner, pre-partner.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they have the same thing. So it's a hierarchy of sorts. So yeah, so they have that, their level, or where they're at, the class currently. Yeah, so it is all the same thing, and it is something you're gonna keep seeing as web developers, not even web developers, just form developers or anything, is that everything that you're gonna be dealing with is an event. I mean, and if you play video games, that is the most event-driven thing in the whole world. When you press up, the dude moves up. When you press down, the dudette moves down. When you press A, he jumps or shoots or something. So, event, we're going to keep it simple. Something that happens. And again, I know these things are very simple and then they're very straightforward, and the concepts are dumb, they're dumbly simple. But understanding the flow, how events are handled and what are events and really how they affect us and how we can respond to them, that is the important thing as developers. So an event is something that happens. Hey, stuff happens all the time. Um, okay, so Dave, give me two events that are possible in this page. Go ahead. Make up two stuff.
Uh,
What can happen in this page? Go ahead.
what can happen?
Yeah,
Let's
just give
see.
me two of what you think events are. What happens?
When you delete a character, uh, a message should like tell you, are you sure you want to delete? Like
Okay.
a precaution event.
All right. All right. Well, so an event would be you trying to delete a character, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Okay. So that is an action. Okay. Yeah. What else?
And let me see. When you add a
Okay. When you add a character.
right.
Okay. All right. All right. What are some most simpler events you would think so, like the one I described earlier?
Hmm.
Well, the one that we're kind of dealing with now. What kind of event or what is happening when you click on this button?
That caused up the pop-up function.
Yeah, but what am I doing to cause it?
You're clicking.
Exactly. Exactly. You see, it's so simple that it's silly, right? Yeah. You.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. You're like literally mouse clicking it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like,
And then
what user inputs am I? what is the user doing to interact with the page? Is he clicking on something? Is he entering some input here? Is he typing something? Is he clicking on this bar? Like, is he clicking on this box? Is he dropping down? Is he choosing monk? Is he hovering over this div here? Is he hovering over this link? Is he pressing this button? So those are the type of events that I mean. I mean, you are kind of right when you describe the events that you did, but I mean more like user
You meant
inputs.
physical
Yeah,
events,
exactly.
not
Yeah.
physical. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know, something that happens. So kind of user inputs like click, hover, typing, um, dropping down, choosing drop down option. All right, clicking again. All right,
Double click.
oh yeah, double click. Yeah,
Right click, left click.
double click. Yeah, so all of those, right? So those are events that we well, those are events that happen. Okay, Dan, give me two events. Give me something. Well, anything. Just make up anything. I mean, well, you could choose the one I used
Hovering
already.
the mouse.
Yeah,
Mouse
yeah.
focus.
Exactly. Yeah, those are amazingly good. Yeah, so let's say I did like, hey, whenever I hover over this thing here, it turns red, or I get a pop-up, or it hides, or something happens, right? That's an event right there because
Oh
I am.
man, that hiding.
Yeah, that would be like, oh, yeah. So
When
that's
you
an
ever
event.
have it pop in and out like constantly because there's a mouse in the way.
Yeah. Well, maybe you have it on the way out. I think like show on the way, like hover over it and disappear, and then when you get out of it, it comes back or something. I mean, there are ways.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it's just a behavior you see sometimes.
hmm I know. And what was the other one that you mentioned?
Um, focus.
Yeah, focus. Yeah, exactly. So when something has the focus of the mouse, like right here, this has the focus right now, right? So you could do things. You could do things based on where the mouse is focused currently. So you see here, the focus right now is on what? On the monk, on the class here, right? So when you do something, you could say like, hey, if you already chose this, whenever this changes, you could have the focus go to the next one, so they could choose that automatically, right?
Yeah.
So you could do a lot of cool things. So again, we have established what an event is. And I should have done this earlier. Well, no, I think this is the right time. We're good. I think we're good on the timing because we understand the basics of the stuff before it. So yeah, event something that happens. Now I'm gonna hit you hard. Now you gotta get your brain ready. So what do you think an event handler does? What is it? What do you think it would do?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, what do you think an event handler would do? In your imagination, what would an event handler do?
It's
Yeah.
trying to log or somehow activate events when they occur.
Yes, yeah, to a point, yes, that is correct. That is correct. Dave, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, you are correct technically. Yes, but that you're giving the super duper advanced explanation. But um, that is a correct explanation anyway. So yeah, so an event handler is let's say there's two parts. But for now, I only want you to remember one of them. Is that fair? Okay. So
Okay.
yes. So an event handler is something that, let's say, listens for events, right? Okay. that's the part I don't really want you to like remember too much now. Don't pay too much attention to this part, but just just yeah, just remember that hey, you're correct. There's something listening for any type of event out there. Okay, that makes sense. That's what it is. But the important thing is that listens for events and handles that event. Now, I know that this is going to sound a little bit weird, but what do we mean by handle? Okay, so what we mean by handle is normally when we do things, right? There's an event happens, so there had to be a reaction. So there is, so that yeah, so something happens, then there's a reaction. Okay, so normally, since we already have the events, right? So we have to tell it, hey, when this happens, I want you to do this. So you have to give it something to do, or you have to tell it how to handle this certain event. So this is the second one. So and handles that event. So we must provide. It's a little bit tricky now, but this is the good explanation because once you get it, it's going to give you a deeper, I think, understanding and more solid understanding. Yeah. So we must provide it with something to do to handle it. Okay. So now let's do a concrete, real world, solid explanation. So we have events, and then we have to give it something to do to handle that kind of event. All right. So in this button here, you see this pop up here? Okay, so now JavaScript, jQuery, has built-in, well, in HTML, it has built-in event handlers. Okay. One of the event handlers is called onClick. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so this is one type of event handler. So in your imagination, what do you think the onClick event handler does?
It monitors for you clicking the mouse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I know it's simple. It's simple, but yeah.
Possibly with a position.
Oh, that's the advanced stuff. But yeah, something like that. Yes. You check for the position in here if you really need it. But yes, you're correct.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and you're actually correct. It sends all that information in the background. We're not gonna use it because we're just doing simple stuff right now. But yes, it sends an object with a lot of information about where you click, what is it, like X, Y, and a lot of info. But we're not using any of that. But yeah, correct. Yeah. So what we care about now is that hey, there's something out there, and we have an event handler for onClick here, and then again the second part, which is what I want you to remember, is that hey, what do you want it to do when that event happens, right? So again, so what do you want it to do when that event happens? So we are given it here, what we want to do when that event happens, which the event is the onClick. So we're saying, hey, when this button gets an onClick, do this. And this is what?
You want to pop up an alert.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer my question. What is this? It is the name of what?
The function.
Exactly. Well, it is the name of a function, yes. So I'm saying, hey, when this button is clicked, run this function. And then we go to that function and then run it. In this case, that function is going to just say, hey, alert, yeah, alert, you just push the button, right? Very simple, very straightforward. Yes, so you could have, in here, normally, you have functions or JavaScript code, which again is or jQuery functions. Yeah, but you tell it what to do. For example, right? You could do this. You see, this is a function that goes here. We could just say, hey, alert this.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. You see, and let's see if that works. I don't know if that works. It might not work at all. But let's see if it does. We might have broken the quotes. Oh, yeah, we did. See? There you go. I think something like that now. I think that we broke the. Oh crap! Yes, this is good right here. Sorry. Yeah, jQuery is really weird with single quotes and quotes and double quotes. But yeah. All right, so let's see if this works. Pop up. Oh, there you go. You just push the button. I mean, does that works, right? So we're just saying, hey, we could write stuff in there and say and tell it what you want to do when it is. But normally, we want to just associate it and use a function here because it's much cleaner. You don't want to have a bunch of code up here, right? Because it's ugly and you could break it easily. Does that make sense at all? It is, right? Yeah, yeah. So now that you guys, now that we have a better understanding, hopefully, of how the flow is, let me describe the flow. Well, do you guys get the flow now, or at least a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, so well, Dave, explain to me the flow. Run through the flow and start with clicking on this button.
Okay. When you click on that button called pop,
Yes.
right? It calls up a function called pop-up.
Yes.
When
Why?
Hmm?
Why?
Why?
hmm
It's because you clicked it and it said so.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, but why is it happening when I'm clicking it? Why not when I'm hovering over it?
Because it's on on-click. It's not
That's
on
right, yeah.
pop-up.
Because we are using the onClick event handler. That is what we're associating this behavior, you know, this function to that behavior, to the onClick. That's why it's happening. Yeah, correct. You're correct. And then it calls this function, right, like you said, and then it does the alert. I mean, is that 100% for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dan?
it's a whole lot clearer put in those terms. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And again, I think it's very important for us to not rush it, because this is something that you will be dealing with for forever, pretty much. As developers, it's something that it's a flow. Remember, programming, it's all about flow and doing things step by step by steps, and understanding what flows from one step to another to another to another. If you can do that and explain it, at least get a good grip on it. It's you'll go very far. Don't try to, because a lot of the times, and there will be times where you will not understand one of the steps, and you won't need to, because it won't be helpful to you to understand all the steps, because as a developer, maybe you don't need to. Hey, maybe there's a function somewhere that says do something, and you don't need to know it. As long as that function does something and it does it well, then hey, call the function, use it, and then continue on your way. But try to know and the flow that is good for you, and then that helps you do your work. Okay, so yeah, so that is good. So let's see. Oh, let me. I'm gonna put this over here in our notes. Nice, right here. So we got this, and then we have right here. So now, and this is great too, because it gives you a better understanding. It gives you an understanding of what events are, and again that there are event handlers. And not only is this useful for web pages, but it's also very useful for other kind of programming, especially video game programming, because like I mentioned before, everything that you deal with in a video game is pretty much an event, correct? Um, it could even be a time event, like, hey, every minute, that's an event. Every minute, do this. Every 99 seconds, do this. You know, shut down the level, or call something, or something or other. So there's always events, things happening all the time, and you are responding to them or handling them in some kind of way, right? And yeah, and that's good though. This is good, solid knowledge. And so let's go back, and we were, I think, here going. Yeah, we were going over some of the jQuery. So now we understand that when we hit this button, there are functions that execute based on some kind of event. And right now we're doing on clicks. So here, what happens when I hit the hide button here? What happens when I hit this hide button here?
So there's going to be an on-click event looking for that particular button, and it's going to send us to the function hide, which will hide the class. Class.
No. What is this?
It's the roster div. Right?
ID. Well, anything that has the ID roster.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And in our case, it happens to be a div.
Multiple things that ID, huh?
Oh yeah. Normally it's one, but yeah, anything that has roster as an ID will be hidden. And again, hide is a jQuery function. We're just using it because it's cool and powerful, but yeah, hide is a jQuery function. And I guess we really should start some kind of jQuery library. Where did we get the jQuery? Oh, all right. Oh, we already have it here. Look at that. Flip. Roster, hide, and show. Is it easy to understand that this hides things and shows things? Do I need to add a description to it? Is it evident? Well, let me give it a quick. People forget, and I forget, and everybody forgets sometimes. So just in case anybody is looking at this, hides anything with ID roster. And what is the one with the class? All right. Nothing. This is the same thing over here. And it shows. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add one thing here, which is the class. Then we did not do it. Anybody remember the class selector? What is it? If you guys don't remember, where we at? The class selector is here. Targeted CSS class. This is a CSS class. The dot is CSS class here. So hides anything with CSS class roster. Okay, let's just add that, and we did it. I mean, we should have I think some kind of list, I think, of CSS functions, but we're good. Okay, so sorry, I kind of interrupted you there. So yeah, so when we hit hide, we call, it's attached to this function here, the onClick, and it hides anything with the ID roster. And I just did this. So this is another function called add class, which adds my class to it. which is a CSS class. Yeah, so that's pretty good there. Let's see. Reviewing again. This is show text value here. I mean, I hijacked them because I was changing them. But what we're going to do is each of you. All right, Dave. You see this show text value here? This
Yes.
button? I want you to, how do I, in a pop-up, in an alert, I want to output the value of whatever is inside this text box, the name text box. When I hit this button, how do I do that?
Let's see.
This is good review. This is very good review. We got to keep at it. Got to bag it.
I always have to look at my own.
No worries, no worries.
Alright.
But remember, what was the function that we used last time?
The pop-up function.
Well, yeah. Let's say we got some kind of pop-up. Let's assume that we have the pop-up here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna assume that this is associated already with this function here. So I'm just gonna say alert something. So I want to, I want to alert the content or whatever's typed in here, the value of whatever is in this input is in the text box. How do I do that? What do you think? You got 10 seconds. And again, I think I forgot to update our notes. So I don't think you have the notes from the last session as to, there you go, which is the function that you want. That is what you want right there. Yeah, the function you want is called val. It's a jQuery function that gets or set the value of an element. VAL. Okay. So now, how would I get the value of this text box here? Remember the function. All right, no worries. Dan, what's up? Can you do this? What you got?
I don't remember how to do that.
All right, no, that's fine. Well, remember we did this earlier. We did it before, and we did it using a jQuery function called val, which again gets the set, gets or sets the value of an element. Okay. So, well, first of all, so I want to interact with that text box. So how can I find out? How can I get a handle on that text box? I mean, how do we know how to use? I mean, we know how to use jQuery selectors. What kind of selectors have we used so far to target something?
Class and
ID.
Yeah, class and ID. Okay, great, beautiful. So, how do I find out what the ID? Well, let's assume that I want to just do it by ID for now. I want to interact with that element, that input through the ID. How do I find out what the ID is?
F12.
Yep, no, yeah, that's the go-to, my friend. Yeah, we are not sure. F12 right here. And what is the ID of this? Okay, I remember. Actually, I remember we were having some kind of lag problems and communication problems when we were going over this stuff.
Yeah, we did.
We had massive problems. All right, yeah, so I really should go over it. Okay, yeah. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. You guys couldn't see a lot of stuff and couldn't hear me because I think it was my internet. All right. Good. 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 So yes. So let's go over it a little bit. Yeah. So yeah. So let's say I want to interact and I want to do something, manipulate somehow or in some way, or at least get something from this element here. So I have 12, looked at it, and I want to use the ID for this. And what is the ID for this element? It is name here. There it is, right there. So, well, I know his name, so I'm just gonna, yeah, I know his name. Okay, so, and this is good. This is very good here. I'm just gonna say the ID is just name for now. All right, ID equals name, and the function we're using is val. Okay, and the function val, it's a jQuery function that gets or sets value of an element. I really, yeah, let me put this over here, like big bold words. And I'm gonna red. What stands out? Purple. Yeah, purple.
Purple's usually good.
Purple, look at that. Stands right there. Yes. All right, so if it's empty, we are getting. If there's something in it, we are setting. So, you know what? Since this is so important, let's do this right. Val function. Yeah, I think we did not do this justice when we went over it because of communication issues with my internet. Okay. Let me do this here. We wanted both to be, I guess, this Arial, and make them both, I guess, nah. It's like this for now. Screw it. Okay, gets or sets value. Just bear with me. This is very important. You're gonna be using this. This is like butter. This is like butter right here. So this is gets value, and this sets value. Quick question. I know it might not be apparent right from the beginning, but what is the difference between what this one gets the value and this one sets the value? This is we're using it here. But what is different here from this and this? It's a very dumb question, but it's important for you to notice.
We add a value that it can set.
Exactly, yeah. So if you don't provide a value, it's saying, okay, you didn't give me anything, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to return the value of what you want, right? And this one says, oh, okay, hey, you're giving me a value. I'm going to put that value into whatever it is that you want me, wherever you want to put it. It is kind of straightforward and easy to understand, right? Yeah, but it can be tricky sometimes. So beautiful. And yeah, so that's this is it's important for me to hammer this into you though, hardcore, because you're gonna be using it so many times.
Yeah, no, that's actually really helpful because I was trying to figure out how to enter values using this stuff, and I was not getting very far.
Yeah, no. The jQuery, the val function, it's extremely powerful. Sometimes some of them don't have the value, like some elements don't have the value. Some have text. Some elements have dot text instead. Don't worry, it's rare.
Is that the user text
Don't
or?
worry about it.
Oh, you use .text as a value.
Yeah. As
Okay.
to get the value or to set it.
So that would be what, a string?
There's certain, like, I think some certain button types, or certain inputs, they don't obey, like they work differently with val.
Okay.
Like what you want sometimes is text. Now I remember. Yes, I remember exactly what it is. Like labels. Yeah. Example, labels. You're not going to be using this, but there is a possibility that you may want to change some labels sometimes. And since a label is not an input, right? So there's certain things that are non-inputs that react differently. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so what type are we trying to
Yeah.
deal with at this point? But
Exactly.
Now I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Usually non-inputs. Yeah. But yeah, again, it's rare and you're not gonna do it. But it's something to be. Should I leave it there? Because it's rare. Yeah, it's no. This is the important thing here, though. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Continuing. Here. So now we know what the name of the function is, and we have a selector. So, Dave, do you have a better idea how to get the value of this input here, or do you wanna lay back for a little bit and see, and then get chime in once you get a little bit better? You got it? Or you wanna hold back a little bit? Chill.
So we're trying to get the input of this text box.
Well, we're trying to get the value. Basically whatever is typed in here. I want to know. I want to pop up of whatever is in here, which is the value. The stuff that you type in here is the value of the text box. Yeah. So when I hit this button, I want to pop up that pops up the value of this input. Which in this case, it would be Caesar, because that is what is currently typed in that text box. So how would I and again, assume that this function is tied to this button here, so, and you have an alert. So all I need is
Some sort of script.
some kind of, yeah, well, it's in the script, yeah. So I need something to select and get the value of this input here. And we have the ID. The ID is name. And yeah. So what do you think? I mean, because we're kind of, yeah. This is what we're going over here. This is the function val gets the value of anything. You see, this is a selector here, right? Remember jQuery selector. So this targets whatever you want, right? And this function gives you the value of whatever you want. Okay. So any ideas yet, or well? Okay, Dan, where you at? How do I? Well, first of all, let's say that I have a variable name input, well, name value. I'm going to call it name text box value, and I want to put whatever it is. I want to put it here, and in that text box, I'm gonna output it. Name text box value here. So how can I put the content of this input here when and how can I get it? And I want to put it in this variable here. So
select the name of that input.
Okay, nice.
Name.
So what? Sorry. There we go.
It is name, I believe.
It is name, yeah. I wrote it up here. The ID is name.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the function, yeah, and the function we want to use is val because we want the value.
So
of
we
it.
would put in .val after the name, and then
Well, can you
whatever.
guide me, or at least type it out in Discord, and then I should cut paste. Like, what do I need to type here?
I'm still bad with the syntax.
Well, no, it's fine. Well, that's what we're doing here. This is practice.
So.
Well, remember we're using jQuery. We're using jQuery.
Sign. Yeah, no, I'm just.
Yeah. Go ahead.
100% on.
Well, I mean,
things are.
Well, it's a selector.
The pound.
Correct. Yeah, pound. Yes, because it's the ID. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Name.
Correct. Yeah. That is. This tells you, hey jQuery, look for the anything that has the ID name, and get a hold of it. And that jQuery says, hey man, okay, boom, I have it. I have a hold of this input right here, this element. What do you want me to do with it? What do you want to do with it? So what do we want to do with it?
We're going to select a value, so we're going to put .val.
Well, we're going to get the value, yes, so we're going to do .val. We want the value from it, and .val. And this retrieves the value for whatever the selector is. And this, again, this selector is this input here. Okay. And we're getting the value, and we are putting this and put it on this variable here, and then we are alerting that variable here. I know this is really weird. It's kind of, see, it took me a while, actually. I have to admit, it took me a very long time to understand how, because right now we're not dealing with anything on the back end. All we're doing right now is dealing with a web page and manipulating and getting information and interacting with this DOM, with this web page here. That is all we're doing. We're not touching the data. I mean, like, we're not touching the backend of the database at all. We are using jQuery, HTML, and JavaScript to mess around with this. That is all we're doing.
Basically, just interacting with the page and the user.
Yes, and it's a little bit weird to kind of get the leap of not even logic, just get the leap that right now all these things, they're inputs and they're kind of controls in a way, right? And they have information, and we are targeting them to manipulate them and get information from them, and we're using that through jQuery and JavaScript. And it's really weird. I know it's really weird because you see we're mixing JavaScript, you see, because JavaScript over here exists on the web page, right? And we're mixing JavaScript here, like functions right here, right? And this is a variable that we're gonna have, right? So it's a memory somewhere. It's in the memory of the browser. But not only are we using we're using variable names, we are also using code that gets information about the web page. You see, like, for example, we're typing stuff here and it's changing, but we're also getting information about, all the pages. I mean, all elements on the page. So it seems like they're disconnected, but they're not. We're using these functions to get information about the pages. So, I mean, are you guys with it? I mean, I know you understand, but it's the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Yeah, especially since this gets information about buttons and inputs and things like that. And usually we're because it adds an extra layer of our coding. Because normally when we do C#, it's a flat thing. We're dealing only on one level, right? You see over here, actually over in the controller, this is just one level here. But when we use JavaScript, we are accessing information. We have JavaScript here, code, and we are accessing information on the web page about the controls as well. So it seems like another level, but it's all the same. It's all the web page or the DOM. Okay, sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there, so I'm gonna update this. Gonna reload the page. And oh damn, who's been making Jerry's?
Huh?
We have a lot of
Oh,
Jerry's.
shit. Wow.
I threw in some Jerry's.
No, Jerry's are good. Jerry's are good for practice. All right. So here we go. Let me delete a couple so we can see a little bit better. Delete that Jerry there. Oh, remember to redirect to your roster page after you delete, because it's going back to the old one.
Yeah, I've got that in my. I just didn't save it.
Of the latest. No, no worries. No worries. Okay, so let me. Yeah. Also, you see what I mean about possibly moving the create page to to the top, or maybe moving it around a little bit, because if you have too many people, you cannot see right off the bat that you can even add characters.
Yeah, that's something I was trying to test. I honestly don't like the idea of putting it on top of the roster page.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's you could
but-
create a button that says, "Hey, go to the create a character page" or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. It should not be at the bottom, or it should be in both at least. Okay, so continuing. So here we are. So now I'm gonna hit this button here, and again, when I hit this button, there's a function that is connected on the on-click event. Let me see over here, right here, on-click, show button, and this is the function here. And in the show button function, I am getting the value of whatever the name ID is, which is, again, this is the input with the ID name. I'm getting the value because there's a function called value, which is the value, and I'm putting it into this variable here. And then I am alerting that value. Okay, so, well, let's see if it works first before we go on. Here we go. Okay, it did not work. Because, well, actually, did it work or it did not work?
You didn't put anything in.
Exactly. So it did work. You see, that was a trick question. I knew it all along. Yes, that's right.
I couldn't see it.
I knew it all along. So if I type Caesar here, let's see. Oh, there we go. Yes. So this was empty here because this was empty here, right?
Yes.
But if we type anything, then this will get the value whatever's in here and output it. And of course, if it's empty, then you put it here. In fact, I'll give you 10 seconds. I'm gonna do this here. Actually, this is good. This is good interaction for program. This is good. Here, that is the name of the alert. Okay, so write an if statement. Well, actually, I just gave you the answer. Damn it. Okay, you have 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds. Only pop up if it's not empty. Go.
Only pop up if it is not empty.
Yep, correct. Only if there's a value in the window here.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
There must be a passerby.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be back. All right. All right.
Right.
Yeah. You guys want to take a fiver or two?
Yes, actually, I would
Yeah.
appreciate
All right. Taking the fiver. Anybody out there? We're taking the fiver or three, but do that first or whatever. I'll be back in 3. Just checking something downstairs. 5. All right, let's see. I'm back. How you guys doing? I don't know how long was that. Was that 5?
Yo, we're we're talking amongst ourselves.
Okay, yeah, what's up? I'm back.
We're not sure if it's calling for a null value or just blanks.
Oh, okay, well, let's see. That's good, that's good. So, well, let's see what's the answer here. Okay. Uh, that's legit, that's legit. Um, null somewhat maybe works, I think, because it's JavaScript, but it's not the best, but null works, but in the wrong way, which is something that we will go over in JavaScript, which is called type coercion. Which
Did you say type coercion?
yeah, that's some advanced stuff. I know, yeah.
Conversion therapy over there.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what it does in a way. It is exactly what it does. So I'm just gonna put this here. Type coercion. It's, well, I'm just gonna give you the type coercion. So I thought there was an H in there. How do you spell coercion? I thought I knew how to spell it. That's weird. Yeah, type coercion. What it does is it tries to see if what you put in there, right? It lets it go even if it's not exactly the same answer. I mean, what you're looking for. It kind of blurs the meaning of it. I know it sounds weird, right? But the way it is, you said null, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you said null. So it's kind of fuzzy logic in some way. So give me another word. What is the concept of null to you? What is it?
Nothing.
Yeah, basically, it does not, doesn't exist there in the first place, right? Okay. So what it is, it says, hey, okay, there's nothing there, because in computer science, the concept of null, it's a solid, it's kind of, it means something, right? I mean, you don't know this yet, but the concept of null, it means something, and it's different than empty. Okay, so it's different than empty, but in our minds they're kind of similar, right? They're kind of related, right? Basically, it means, hey, there's no value here, in some way, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense? Yeah. So it says, hey, that there's no value here. So especially, remember that you see this var here in JavaScript. I really, shouldn't be go over this, but I'll give you a little pip, a little peepity pip, Is that, yeah, a little peek. Yeah. So remember that JavaScript treats types kind of like a little bit weird. They're all kind of like sort of can be used as anything sometimes, right? So it does that. It's like, hey, man, okay, since you said this is, I mean, you're checking for null, which is kind of like some kind of emptiness, right? There's no value there. So it's also saying, okay, since there's no value there, it's the same thing as a null, it could be null, or it could just have no value, like a string with no value, correct? Is not the same thing as a null string. It's different concepts. And again, we'll go over this later, a little bit later. And also, guess what? I'm about to give it to you too. You ready? In numbers, what exactly is the concept of not, doesn't have a value?
A 0 with a slash.
Well, yeah. For now, let's just go with the 0. Yeah, 0 means like, hey, this doesn't have any numbers in it. It's 0, right? I mean, I'm not saying that this is correct, by the way. I mean, the way it does it, I'm not. It's just saying that is how it looks at certain things sometimes. It says, hey, I know you're trying to look for the null, and it's kind of like an empty string, but hey, they're kind of close enough. The concept is kind of close enough. They both mean you don't have anything there, so I'm just gonna let it go. And I think I've gone too far with that explanation, and that is something that requires a little bit more time. So what I'm going to say, or what we're going to see about that, is that it tries to match the concepts or values as much as it can, right? Okay. It does this when you use, you see that the equivalency here? You see, okay, that, you see, you have that, right? You see, you're using this. You're using not equal or equal, correct here, right? Using, you guys see this? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, again, I really shouldn't get into this now, but are you ready? Okay. When you don't want to use that behavior, the type coercion behavior, and this is one of the few languages that has this, you use a third one. You're saying, hey, listen, I don't want you to assume any values. I don't want you to be dumb or anything, or just assume or blur it. Don't use type coercion. And is it the same? If it's not the same, exactly the same for what you're asking for, you know, either fail it or pass it, or do this. Use whatever logic you want. Okay. 2, so 2 uses type coercion. Keep throwing an H in there for some reason. And 3, no type coercion. All right. Forget about this for now. It's totally okay. But it's, I just want, you know, you to be aware that it exists out there in the universe. Is that cool? Don't let it confuse you. But for now, is what we want to address, which is really what we want to talk about here, is we're going to assume that this is a string here, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So with the string, we want to compare it to an empty string. And an empty string is what? It's just, well, an empty string is an empty string. So I'm going to say if name text value box equals empty string. Or actually, in this case, not equals empty string, right?
Okay, so yeah, it is that. It's literally that easy.
Oh, it is, yeah, it is. Yeah, so if it's not empty, then alert it. Yeah. Also notice that you're going to be seeing in JavaScript double quotes or single quotes. They're interchangeable. You may want to use or combine them in different ways sometimes, but they're kind of interchangeable. Yeah, so only do an alert if it's empty. And that kind of makes sense there. So yeah, so I am getting the value here, right here, right? I'm getting it here. And are we good how we got the value? And you know, into the pop-up and how it's popping up when we press this button here. How, from 1 to 10, how good are we?
6.
Okay, all right. Well, practice. Dan, are you at least a 6 as well?
I'm feeling better about that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that means we got to practice. We have to practice.
Practice.
Yeah. So remember, guys, go on jQuery and get paid. They got quizzes, got all sorts of stuff, especially in selectors. Go over the selectors and the values. Okay, they got. Don't forget. Don't mess with Ajax yet. Just the basics for now. This is what you need. This is your bread and butter right here. Selectors. Okay. And yeah, but at least we get where we are here. The more we use it, the better. So now I want to, you see, so I have another button here called the show text value to. And this time Hmm. Well, I'm gonna keep grilling Dave because he's a 6 now. So Dave,
Um,
I want to put when I press this button, I want to put your name on. I want when I press this button, I want to change the value of this input to your name. How do I do that?
uh,
Assume that this is already connected to this function.
so on the function show text box value two, it'd
Hmm.
be raw name text box value equals dollar sign quotation mark pound sign name quotation mark parenthesis dot val parenthesis something like that. Let's see.
Uh, Something like that. Something like that. Well, let me see. Well, remember, we don't care about getting a value here. We're setting a value. But you're
Oh,
somewhat
set
correct.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's Valve quotation mark David quotation mark.
Exactly, exactly. So again, we don't care about what was in here before, so we don't care about the current value. We're inputting it. So all I want to do is when I hit this button, just set the value of this to your name. So I mean, you're correct. I mean, you're saying
Yeah.
blip. Yeah. So what we want is this, and then what am I targeting?
The hashtag name.
Yep, name, and then the value. Set the value to your name.
Alright.
David here. And well, let's see. Okay, I think we have refreshed here, and let's see. Wait, I don't think I have refreshed 100%. Hold on. Or mm, that is weird. Oh, I think I did it in the wrong place. That is weird. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, okay, okay. David. Hold on. I think I did something wrong here, but
Hmm.
it's somewhat working. Well, let's see what happens. First of all, show text value here, right? Are we ready? Okay, so let's say we got Bruce Leroy here, and okay, so that works. Okay, if ever something doesn't work, make sure check the stuff that you've done before works, and then see that way it helps makes it easier for you to find out what the issue is if there's an issue. So let's see. So now when I press this, let's see what will happen or what should happen. Oh, there you go. Yes. I think what was happening before is that I was not refreshing the page correctly. Sometimes you have to clear the cache by pressing Control F5 instead of just F5. But yeah, so you guys see when I press this button, this got populated by David. Pretty sweet, right?
Woo.
And this one pops it up, and this one sets it. Okay. And you guys remember we're hiding things by class here. Popping up here. Hiding by ID here. And yeah, this is very solid here. This is very solid. So now we have kind of a better understanding on that jQuery. Again, this is good for us because this is exercise, and we become the more we do this, the more comfortable we get with it. Let me see. Yeah, so pop up, hide, and we understand the flow and how event handlers work. So event handlers, how do you guys feel about it? 1 to 10. Is that a little better, or at least what's going on when we press these things? It's all wiring. What you're doing is, hey,
Yeah.
yeah. What you're doing is you're wiring. That is the actual word. You're wiring things to happen when events happen. And let's use that word. Say it with me. Wiring. That's a good word.
Wire.
Yeah. So wiring, I'm gonna throw that in there. Wiring things to happen when you click stuff. Keep right here. Flip, flip. Yeah, so you wire events or you wire functions together, and you kind of yeah. If you want this to happen, when this happens, give it give it some kind of function. Wire it up. Say wire it up. Yes. Okay. So that's good. So this is good exercise here with event handlers. I wanted to get into CSS, but man, 2 hours just flew by. Dude, what the hell? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, where they went.
That's crazy. It's already 5?
Yeah.
That's a believe.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so what I want you to do next, well, Dan, I want you to create your own controller, all that stuff. Clean it up this a little bit. Can we clean this up a little bit? Leave the buttons for now. I'll take care of the buttons and put them on a different page called jQuery practice page or something like that, which we will have probably on our main page here. And I'll try to spiff this up a little bit. And but this is good. I like this, Dave. You already know what to do. Fix this D here.
Yeah, I think I messed up on one of the tags, the TD tag.
Yeah, the TD tags. Yeah. Oh yeah, you forgot the T. Yeah. Move the add character to the top, perhaps, and remove the question mark. But I wanted to get into CSS, but I don't think we have time today. But personally, I think what we did today is a lot more important than CSS. And it gives you the base idea of CSS as well, because let me tell you something cool here that you're going to love. Do you know all these selectors here? The selectors that we have been using? I mean, you guys get the concept of the selector now, correct? Yes. Okay. CSS uses the same concept. Haha. So it's pretty cool. CSS uses the same selectors as jQuery. In fact, jQuery stole the selectors. Well, I'm not gonna say stole. They just use the same convention as CSS to make it convenient. And I mean, why reinvent the wheel when there's something out there that is perfect already, or that is it works well. So yes. So and again, I mean, remember, all a selector is just a handle of whatever you want to affect or manipulate in some way. Okay, so as far as we're back tomorrow, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as far as assignment, I don't really have a lot of assignments for you today. I'll think of something tomorrow. But I am liking where we are right now because we know how to use jQuery now. I mean, we don't. I mean, we're not pros at it, right? But we have the concept, the basic concepts, and the basic knowledge of jQuery and what it does and what it is. At least the first half of it. Well, which is really what most of the time you're going to be using anyway. And notice how we are using the jQuery with JavaScript, right? See, this is JavaScript. This is JavaScript here. This is JavaScript here, and how we're mixing it with jQuery, and this is this is very powerful. And it may not seem to you, I mean, it may seem simple, but knowing the stuff, it's really, really powerful and really good. So you now understand the concept of jQuery, what it is, and you know how to use it. I mean, maybe basic, but you guys have a pretty decent understanding enough where if you don't know how to do something, you can look it up. And really, that is all you want in life. Just you want somebody to give you enough knowledge if you want to learn anything, or you want to have enough knowledge where you could on your own say, hey, how do I do this? Um, where can I find this? And then you could sort of intelligently go out there and try to figure it out yourself, or just go to Pluralsight and look for it, and then you might be able to understand a little bit better their explanation or answer. And and again, really, that is what you want as a full stack developer, because, like I said, you don't want to memorize everything. Frankly, my knowledge of jQuery, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, right? My knowledge of jQuery is not that far beyond where yours is now. I mean, well, that's sort of a lie. It is a lie, but um, conceptually, it's your we're kind of, I'm not that far ahead of you. I mean, I've used it a lot more, and I've used it, like a lot of different functions that you don't know or haven't used, right? But the concept of it and what it is, um, if you want to know something, you could just look it up on the docs and just do it. It's not difficult. You understand the concept, but that is one thing. The next concept, the jQuery, that you need to know is that do Ajax, how to do Ajax. Once you understand how that works, you will pretty much be my equal in jQuery. Well, other than me having been using jQuery for many years, but again, the concept is the same. It's not like I have like super magic powers, jQuery powers. It's just, you know, it's jQuery. It's not hard. Um, let's see. So yeah, so I'm comfortable with you guys feeling somewhat comfortable with jQuery. We still need to do a whole bunch of stuff, and but next we need to tackle CSS, and then once we tackle CSS and then Bootstrap, we will probably tackle Ajax, or I don't know whether I should tackle or we should tackle. Next is definitely CSS, but I don't know whether we should tackle Ajax or Bootstrap um, for jQuery, because uh, Bootstrap, it's a nice to have. You don't need Bootstrap. Bootstrap is just to make your website and build it faster and more efficient and better. But Bootstrap is just, it's a framework. Um, it's not adding something to your developer knowledge, if that makes any sense, or as a programmer. It's just something that you use to build, to help you, yeah. It's just functions that you use. It's not, you already know how to use functions and tags. But knowing how to use Ajax, it's very important. It is one of the most important things that you need to know as a developer. Well, we'll think about that. Let's tackle CSS and let's see how we feel when we get there. Okay, so this is ridiculous, though. I mean, 2 hours just flew by. It's nuts. Wow. So yeah, so we're gonna stop here now. Before we go, let's take a couple of minutes here, because this is very important. Then we need to talk after this. That way, we got to talk about where we are, resume, and all that stuff, of course.
Yep.
Because kind of important. And I spoke to the other developers and all that stuff. Well, one developer anyway, but let's see what's up. And let's go over our list. You guys remember we had some kind of list somewhere? And let's see of the stuff that we have that we need to do, that we're missing. So let's see, have we fulfilled anything? Software development cycle, we haven't done that. That's near the end. Link queue, a little bit maybe. I guess probably a bit. I mean, do you guys remember what link queue is? Somewhat, right? Yes or no? From 1 to 10, are you guys at least on a 4 or a 3?
Yeah.
We call it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Are you on a 7?
No, I can say around 3 or 4, but yeah, I need to go back.
Well, no, that's the thing. I mean, like, yeah, if you're on a 3, I expect you to be on a 3 right now. At max, a 4. Yeah. But we have started to introduce it.
Right, right.
But there will be at some point where we need to grill and grind on link queue until it becomes kind of second nature. But that is near the end, and that is like when you need to interview and do all sorts of cool stuff there for the interview. But yes. Okay, so expanded on classes. We have actually a little bit, right? A bit. So we fulfilled some of that. We haven't done this. Compiling works. A bit, I guess, right? We haven't really gone into it, right? But we understand that there's some compile somewhere, and your code is turned into some type of exe or some kind of library, correct? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all you need to remember for now, and that is okay. Okay, there you go. So there you go, JavaScript. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I feel comfortable where we are here, a little bit here, especially other than the CSS, and we need to get here soon. Okay, SQL Entity Framework. You guys are pretty legit in databases. Except we need to design some databases later on, and you guys need to. We're gonna have to go with unions and that kind of stuff, and probably like left joins and right joins and all sorts of joins. They're pretty straightforward. Okay. Oh, there you go. Code storage versioning. Did it. How do we feel about code storage versioning in Visual Services? That's pretty good, right? I mean, we understand how that works, right? We use it every day. Oh, what I mean is Visual Source Safe, this thing that we use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is the home button? There you go, yeah. Source Control Explorer. Yeah, this thing. There's a name for it. The legit name, which I will give you, that way that you have to remember. I just call it Visual Source Safe, but they changed the name. Yeah. It's the repository, the code repository. So we have fulfilled this one here. So we're looking pretty tight here. We're looking very, very tight. A lot of these, it's probably one solid session. Well, some of these are one solid session, and others they're just usage over and over and over and over until we're comfortable with it. Okay. So and yeah, I really need to put these together in some kind of a better order or something. So I promise to update this at least by tomorrow, and update the videos since I think I'm behind 3 videos now, I think, or 4, maybe 3, because I uploaded 2 days ago. So we shall see. So we are done for today, and we will continue tomorrow. And get ready, tomorrow I'm gonna think of some cool stuff for the next stage of our webpage and our projects. All right. Okay, we stop.